Just remove. Okay. What is up, guys? We're back for another podcast episode. And today we have got a real good one. So today we're going to discuss everything to do with getting more sales, more conversions, and more leads on your ads, especially during the holiday period. I am joined as ever by Pamela Wagner. Say hi, Pam.
Hi, everyone, and cheers if you're drinking some coffee, tea, or whatever other beverage.
Yeah, definitely. And what we also want to do is we want to invite anybody who's listening in right now. If you want to ask us anything about your Google ads, maybe you feel like your ads aren't working, ask it. Don't be shy. Ask it down in the chat, and we'll gladly just help you understand what's happening. And what we're going to do in this episode, guys, we're going to spoil you. You're going to get two high level consultants for 1 hour, and we're going to explain to you exactly how to max out those holiday sales and how to make sure you take advantage of them. So, we're going to share with you guys a simple framework that you can follow. Anybody can do this, by the way. You don't have to be like a high level Google Ads person. Anybody can do this, any business owner. But these are just some common sense tactics that we've kind of come across over the years. And what we want to do is we just want to share it with you because we're just good people like that.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, I was like, you're getting two high-level consultants for the price of one right now, but the value of probably 100.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, I've been doing Google Ads for like 7 years now. And we've coached entrepreneurs like all over the world. Pam, I don't know how many people you've coached with Google Ads, but Pam is also a lecturer at university as well on Google Ads. So guys, if your doubt is in our credibility that we're not going to be able to teach you something, you can just go and look at our LinkedIn bios, and then you will see all of the credibility over there. Trust us, we have been doing this. We've been making business owners a lot of money over the years.
Yeah, yeah. It's and thank you for that reintroduction because I know this might be, somebody's first time that they're seeing us, that they're watching this. And I that was a conversation on Monday I had with somebody where we were talking about onboarding her and everything, and she then and I sent her the referrals of some of our current clients so she could talk with them, and then she asked them a question like, oh, so how many people do you currently manage? And I kind of had to pull back a little bit on that because I'm like, listen, how many people somebody manages has no influence on the results that we provide, right? Because we've worked with people who manage only themselves, and we've worked with Fortune 500 companies, right? Where people manage thousands of people. So I think just to get started, asking the right questions goes a long way. And if you work with clients, if you work with customers, sometimes also it's your responsibility to help guide them to ask the right questions.
Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't hire a wealth manager that works on everybody's money because then he's not a good wealth manager, right? You wouldn't hire that person.
Might be
You would
worse.
want, you'd probably hire a wealth manager that works with the top 1% of clients and that is very picky over who they work with. That's the wealth manager that you want to work with. And the same goes for Google ad consultants as well.
Yeah, and there's like so many fish in the sea, and I've been worried about that when I first got started. Right now it's been almost 10 years ago where I thought, oh, but there's like so many people, what value do I have to add? And even now, after like more than 9 years of having my own agency, I keep getting the same questions and same almost like complaints week over week, where it's like, I'm not hearing back from the agency, I don't know what I'm spending, I don't know what I'm getting back, they're not communicating with me, I don't own my account, I don't know what's happening. So yeah, and it's unfortunate because if it's very hard if you don't know Google Ads to then distinguish who's good and who's not, because you have to deal with like so many different like terms, and then it's money, and then it's your business, and then it's the perception of your business, your brand, right? So I get it. So it's if you are currently working with an agency or with somebody where you're feeling like that's not the best choice, trust your feeling. Most likely your gut feeling is right, right? And make that change. There's always better people out there. If you don't make the change, I've seen it happen over and over again. People just stick with the same agency for years and they end up wasting sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? We had this one client where he wrote this even in a review, which was the sweetest thing ever. He was like, in the first 10 minutes of the call, you helped me save more than $200,000, right?
Wow.
So you might end up paying a little bit more for the right agency. And most times I see that we're still charging less than others, which is insane. But anyway, that's me. Um, but it's going to pay off so much more. So yeah, it's like having a good tax lawyer. Ideally going to
Yeah.
pay him a certain sum per every month, every quarter, but in the end he's going to, help you make more profit and show you how to get more money out of your revenue.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we want to talk about on this episode. Now, this episode is specifically for you if when it comes to holidays, when it comes to those special occasions or maybe those special days, we've even got Valentine's Day coming up, you kind of freeze up and the only thing you do is you go, oh, this is when I cut my prices, right? This is all I can do is just cut my prices, run ads, and hope for the best. And you kind of close your eyes and you're like, yep, that's my strategy. It's not a strategy. It's actually just you panicking because you forgot that the next day was actually a day that you needed to have a sales. But what we're going to do is we're going to guide you through some of the things that you can do differently that are really going to push up those numbers the way that you want. All right. So, Pam, I want you to start us off. Where do we begin with this whole thing?
So I think let's make the differentiation between location-based businesses, so businesses that have a physical location, whether you're a service provider or a product business, and online businesses, right? So that's kind of like the easiest way to go about it. We can go with the location-based businesses first, where you want to make sure that you reach the people that are within your typical radius, right? So you want to hone in on like more location-based targeting, on bidding more for those that are closer to you, on making sure you use certain location terms in the ads, right? I still see this a lot of times where location-based businesses don't even mention the city in the ads or in their keywords, right? And I'm like, you have to tell people, don't assume they know. Like we recently, that was just yesterday, I had a conversation with a current client and they have a product list on the website and it's sorted in descending order according to popularity. So the most popular products are shown on top. But they didn't tell me that. There's nothing that's written on the website, right? So I just see products ordered and randomly. It looks randomly because it's not alphabetically ordered. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I get you. So how am I to know that those are good products?
So you have to tell people, right? Like, don't assume that people know where you are. Don't assume that people know which street you're on. Don't assume what color your house is or your shop is, right? Like, tell them. Tell them.
Yeah. I want to share a little bit of a success story with you guys. We have one student in our course. Her name is Gia, very bright young woman. So she runs ads for her mom's sewing machine store. So she says, I don't know what's wrong with this website. Like it's not converting. And we asked her, okay, can we see your product page? So we go on to her product page, and at the bottom of her product page, number one, there's no reviews. And number two, she's putting the technical name of the sewing machine. And we said to her, Gia, if I was brand new to sewing, how would I even know that this is for me? Like, how do I know this is for beginner or expert? Like, if I'm just learning how to do all of the stuff, how would I know this? And she's like, oh no, these are beginner machines. Everybody knows that. And we're like, yeah, but Gia, we are beginners and we are looking at the product right now. All of the students on the call, and we don't know this is a good machine. So she says, yeah, well, this is actually for beginners. So we're like, say that in the description. And then after that, we move on to reviews, which we'll talk a little bit more about in this podcast episode. But reviews are super important. So I told her to add reviews. And I said to her, so when I buy the sewing machine, what do I get? And she says, oh, but you get a free course. I was like, What? There's no mention on the entire product page that I get a free sewing course when I buy this machine. Of course, you're not making money. So, anyway, Gia goes, she implements those little changes, right? Nothing crazy. She spends, I think her ads were $25 a day, maybe $20 a day. She made back $5,222 in revenue in a month with $20 per day ads. And this is in South Africa. This is what Pamela is trying to get you thinking about. There's a beautiful saying that goes, the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. If you ignore all the little details, if you ignore all those little steps that lead up to the sale, surprise, the sale's not going to happen. The conversion's not going to happen. The reason why we're running the ads is we want the money coming in, right? But you're ignoring all of the little steps for the money to come in. So therefore the money doesn't come in.
It's it's like when people ignore that they should eat healthy, they should work out, they should do some sort of mindfulness practice, they should do some sort of stress relief, and then wonder why 20, 30 years down the road, they need all kinds of pills, they need all kinds of like surgeries, and they can't fix things, right? Like, we're not saying this because we just like came up with, I don't have a sleeve today, but if I shake it out of my non-existing sleeve here, this has been proven not just since Google Ads existed, but before. People buy because of social proof. The number one thing that makes a huge difference is testimonials. And I have been myself way too shy about that for the longest time in business, for years, trust me. Because I grew up by my parents being told, by my most loving parents being told, hey, if you do good, other people will talk about it. Right?
Yes.
Now that was a different time. Yes, we're not old, right? Or we're still very young, but still it was a different time where people actually talked with each other a lot more, right? Now everything's changed. We live in an age of information overload. We live in an age where, news have been there for a long time, but news exists because anything negative hits our brain 7 times harder than anything positive. So
Yep.
imagine you have to catch up 7 times until you actually be able to stand out, right? Ideally, even more. So that's like a review strategy is so important. And you have to talk about it. You have to tell people, hey, there is Mariana who did my last course and she was really happy about it because it helped her achieve XYZ, right? Otherwise, other people will not know that there's been other people that might have purchased from you, that there's other people who benefited from you, right? So again, reviews, 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 just get them. It's important.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to blow your mind with this one thing. If you're watching this podcast right now, if you added bad reviews, you could still increase your conversion rate. Even with bad reviews, you could still increase your conversion rate, because what is the first thing that we look for when we go and we look at a product to buy or anything like that? We go online and we go, okay, what's the worst case scenario? Am I going to get the package? Did it catch fire in somebody else's house? Even with bad reviews, you are still going to increase your conversion rate. So you could have 0 reviews or you could have only bad reviews. I guarantee you, even bad reviews are still going to get you more conversions than having absolutely no reviews whatsoever. And it's kind of like Pamela said, and we were brought up this way: to be modest, let your work speak for you. You shouldn't have to do anything. The average website visitor only spends 54 seconds on the website. Okay. So let's think about this. If we have 54 seconds to convince somebody to say yes to a product or a service or submitting a lead or anything, they're considering the price, they're considering the quality of your images, they're considering the quality of your logo, they're looking at the overall aesthetics of your product page, and also they're looking for relevant information because they only have 54 seconds. Now, Don't interpret this like in, oh, I've got 54 seconds, so I should just tell them to buy from me. No, you shouldn't do that. But you should provide them with enough information to make the decision, and valuable information, right? Like, if you go and you list out all of the measurements and all of the specs and all of the materials that were mined to make your product, it's not really relevant to the buyer at that exact moment. But if you tell me that this is perfect for people who have this problem, that's going to increase your conversions. If you tell me that the product is perfect for maybe not beginners, but people who already have this and this and this course or this and this knowledge, that's going to improve your conversion rate. So the more things that you can include that are going to help the buyer make the decision faster, do that. Add those things. Reviews, add them. If you have good quality photos on your hard drive that you didn't upload for whatever reason, make time, because it's going to make you money.
Yeah, and not just that, like getting back to like your sewing machine example, right? Is don't just tell me the tech details. I mean, those are okay, and I would argue that the minority of people cares about the tech details, right? The majority of people is going to care about what is this going to like do for me, right? So let me I'm trying to find a product example of something that I bought recently because it's brilliant. It's from a brand that we all know. I think I almost got it.
So what I'm going to do is we're
Yes,
going
I
to,
got it.
oh, you got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So let's go to, I'm going to share the screen. I didn't purchase this particular product, but it's a good example. So Nike, good old Nike, what do they do, right? Energized ride for everyday road running, right? Like it tells me, hey, when you're going to run, you're going to be energized when you wear this shoe, right? Experience lighter weights, right? Decreases weight, increases breathability. So it has a couple of like details here, but then the more like product details, I even have to click on view product details for them to show up, right? So they, even such a big company, prioritizes writing about something emotional and about the experience first before they go into the product details.
Beautiful example over there. Beautiful example. Now, what we're going to do after this ad break is we're going to go even into more details. We're going to give you granular stuff that you can do with your ads. We're going to show you how to run these promotions. So stick around. It's going to be fun, but we're just going to go into a quick ad break.
Now, 9 years ago, I used to work at Google. And 8 years ago, I founded my own ad agency, Ajala Digital. And since then, we've helped over 3,000 advertisers all over the world grow with Google Ads. No matter where they're based on this globe, they have one challenge in common. They are usually tired of having to figure it all out on their own with ads and not getting the return that they are looking for. If you're currently tired of your ads, if you're tired of figuring it out on your own, and you need help of a real specialist and expert, then feel free to reach out. Check the link in the description below.
All right. So, Pamela, before we even get into these granular tips to get more sales with your Google ads, the number one complaint, well, not my favorite thing, but the number one complaint I always hear from business owners is, I don't have the time to do this. Nike has a team. Nike has a whole bunch of people that write out of their, they have a whole writing department. They can do product descriptions. I don't have the time. What would you say to me? What would you say to a person like that?
Use all kinds of AI tools to help you with that. It's now easier than ever. You have all these tools available that can create these descriptions for you. You can add the input of what the product is, and you can say, hey, please add some emotions for my customers. This is who my customer is. Help me come up with a description, right? So you don't have to do that anymore yourself. So you can come up with a landing page copy in 5 minutes, right? It might not yet be the perfect one, but it gives you a good basis if you are short of time, if you feel like you're not the most creative person, if you feel like you're lacking the words or you don't have all the pieces of information. So just know there is the resources out there that can help you make this happen at a fraction of the cost that it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, 100%. All
Yeah.
right. So now that Pamela's sorted out all of the busy people, hopefully the people who are listening in are the people who are really interested in the sales, the add to carts, the leads in their inbox. How do we get those, and how do we do this during a holiday period where a lot of people are chilling, or a lot of people might not be as focused on business related stuff? How do we still get those leads and those sales in?
So what I always try to tell people is that you want to ramp up the budget about like 3 weeks before whatever day or season you're targeting, right? And typically it's a holiday, right? Or a vacation day. So that time, start to like ramp up your budget, start to maybe introduce a new campaign, right? If you are a local business, you could create an additional like video awareness campaign where you tell people that, hey, this is mom and pop shop number 1 on Fifth Avenue, and we've been here for 20 years. We got this really special offer for you today, this time for Valentine's Day, and come in, save 20% on any flower bouquets, right? So you want to make sure that people know about your offer, because just that you have an offer, just maybe because your offer is shown on the window of your shop, doesn't mean that people actually know about it. And
Yeah.
also consider that people will need to hear these messages and offers multiple times. There are so many other people like advertising and so many also not, right? Which at the same time makes it easy for you to stand out. Is if you just have a little bit of that edge, you're going to be able to stay on top of people's minds, so that when they're super late with their gift on the morning of Valentine's Day, like, oh, I heard about that mom and pop shop. Let me go there.
Yeah.
Right? So really make sure you use that like localization aspect if you have a local shop, right? Now, the other aspect that's there is promotion assets. And you can find them in the assets section of your Google Ads account. They're a really, really cool feature. They have a option where you can schedule from when to when they're shown, and you can schedule from what date to what date the promotion is valid. So, for example, I might want to start showing my ad for Valentine's Day on like 23rd of January. And I want to inform people that, hey, I have a promotion running that's going to be valid from 7th to 14th of February, right? So that I prepare them, that they start thinking about it, and that they know that they can get this. Like, I even know, like, my parents, they used to write down the dates when there was a promotion announced in, like, you know, the magazines that you got in the mailbox and so on. So people
Yeah.
write down these things because everybody loves to save money, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you use these features. I think for promotion assets, when they're used, they can drive revenue of up to like 25% or something.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you guys about my Black Friday promotion that I also did. Was what we did was um, we told people in advance that we were going to have a Black Friday sale. We didn't say what it was, but we promised everybody that signed up that they were going to get an early bird special. And basically, we got them to sign up to a newsletter. Nothing crazy, just maybe somebody clicked on our ads, or maybe just somebody found my YouTube videos and they just signed up for the early bird newsletter. And then what we kind of did was we did a whole build up. And then what we did was, when that special came out, right? So we told them in advance, listen, there are going to be specials around these products, but you're only going to have one day to get that specific special that you were interested in. And what was so nice about this, it was like kind of this built-in hype cycle where every day they knew exactly what was going on special. And there was one guy, I'll never forget this. He waited every single day. The Monday special passed, he didn't want it. The Tuesday special passed, he didn't want it. The Wednesday special passed, he didn't want it. The Thursday one passed, and he bought the most expensive offer. I think it was like $1,999, and he bought the most expensive offer. But this is a guy who signed up to my list literally maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. And you might feel like a lead is a cold lead or a buyer is a cold lead because they're not buying right now. But guys, there, there's times, especially during holiday periods, where people are in a buying mood. They are much more ready to spend money, to spend dollars, to indulge themselves, to splurge, for lack of a better word. But you don't know when that is. So, another good tactic that you can do, in addition to Pam's tactic, is get that email address. It's not costing you to just take the person's email address. Even if you just have a little button that says sign up to our newsletter, or maybe if you just have something where you collect email addresses, it really pays off, especially during these times.
Yeah, and it always pays off. Look, it might be that the first two holidays you don't sell anything.
Yep.
It could happen, right? Because you're just trying on things, you're doing this for the first time. If you got on the bike for the first time, you probably fell off, unless you're a superhuman, right? So just be prepared to test a little bit, right? Be prepared that maybe nobody buys from you the first time you're doing this. But as you progress, as you utilize each holiday more and more, you're going to figure out what works for you and your customers, right? So just keep testing and then keep applying the things we tell you, right? So that's already a good base. If you follow what we tell you, what we share with you, that's tried and tested over the years, right? So there's you're going to increase your chance to succeed in at least in some way and to some extent, right? Now, the do we have anything else for location-based businesses before we head over to the online businesses?
Um, no, let's go into the online businesses.
So, for online businesses, what I would probably look into is what are the cities that my customers with the most revenue come from?
Yeah.
And then I would probably focus with my advertising on those cities, right? And that's where I would spend most of my money in. Now, use a promotion asset as well. That works for offline as well as online businesses. And again, I would also run a video campaign in those cities, right? So that you make sure you make people aware of it. You got to warm up people, as you said, with the email sequence. You got to keep telling them about it. Just posting once about it, nobody's going to care. You have to remind people over and over again. And I'm telling you this because I've made those mistakes before, right? I've had the audacity to think that if people read a post once, well, they'll take action. And if they don't take action, it means they don't want what I'm offering. That's not
But
true.
Pam, but Pam, if I show them my ads all the time, I'm gonna annoy them. Why? I don't want to annoy people by showing them ads all the time.
Yeah. We have to, as business owners, we have to become comfortable with being okay with sometimes annoying a few people for the sake of making a lot of people happy, right? And you also got to understand that the first two, three times that people see a post or an email or a YouTube video, they might not even be consciously aware of what they're reading because they might be watching a movie on the TV, they might be cooking something, they just see pop up. Maybe they hit skip the first time. Maybe they're like, oh, I'll get back to this later. Or maybe they just forward it to someone and then forget about it, right? So we are way too often too much worried about what other people think when they're not even thinking about us at all.
Yeah, that is super true. I find it very interesting, and this has become my motto this year. The battle is not against your customer. You're not annoying them. The battle is against procrastination. There are so many people who know that they should do something and put it off for later, myself included. You know, you should be getting that kettle. You know, you should be getting that fertilizer for your grass that's not green. You know, you should be getting sunblock, but you put things off for later. The reason why marketing messages work when they're shown over and over again, you can think about it like a reminder. When I see that ad for fertilizer, it might not work on me on Monday, might not work on me on Wednesday. On Friday, I might be at a friend's house and it might not work then. But on Saturday, when I have nothing to do and I'm sitting on the couch and I literally have nothing to do, boom, that ad pops up, and I'm like, today's the day. I am getting this fertilizer and I'm getting it over and done with. So when you look at it, I think Pam said it so beautifully, and it's very true. You have to annoy a little bit of people to help a lot of people get to what they need. That's just basically how marketing works.
Yeah. And I think adding on to that, it's look, everybody loves a good promotion. Everybody loves to save money, right? So the one tip I always give everybody when it gets to like phrasing your offer is tell people they're saving money. Don't say like, oh, you get like 25% off or whatever. No, tell me I'm saving 25% and put either the percentage or the whatever currency amount that's higher as the number that I'm saving. So if your product is $400 and I'm saving 25% because it's $100 off,
Yeah.
tell me I'm saving $100, not the 25%, because the $100 is going to sound a lot more in my brain than the 25%.
Yep. That's
And
monetary value. That's
and
something that
that
they
in
can
itself,
easily think about. Yeah.
yeah, that if you just make that change, that can probably double the sales that you make on those holidays,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
And also consider this, there's people that actually save up for these holidays. People are prepared to spend more on these days. It's almost when people go on vacation. They spend more when they're on vacation because they have vacation money. Similar to that, they have spending money for holidays, for Valentine's Day, for birthdays, for July 4th, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So and there's so many instances throughout the year in whatever country you are that you can use. There is not just like the normal holidays that you have in your calendar, but there is, these special days like the day of the cat, the day of biryani, the day of, I don't know, vegans, right? I know there's like veganuary, or and there's Black History Month,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's Mother's Day, and
Yeah.
so there's so many ways that you can do something around your customers' interests that you almost won't get bored every month, right? I would say don't offer like a promotion every month because then people get used to it, but make it meaningful, right? Like make it relevant to them.
Yeah. I'm going to share with you guys 3 tips to make your offers more relevant. And I'm going to do that after the ad break. So we will see you guys soon. All right. Now, since we're on the subject of ad setup and getting your ads set up properly, what I want to do is I want to offer you a chance to copy my personal ad settings. The ad settings that I'm using right now in my business to generate leads and sales. And you can do that with my Google Ads setup cheat sheet. Now, included in the setup cheat sheet is over 22 settings that I'm using right now to generate new business in my business. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to include a little mini course. So if you're a Google Ads beginner and you just want to find out how to get your first 100 leads, or maybe you just want to learn the dashboard so you can feel a little bit more confident, that's in there as well. Now you can find all of this at the link in the description below, and let's get back to the show. All right, so we're back. I want to share these 3 things with you. That's really powerful things you can do. If you are running a Valentine's Day special or any type of special for any holiday, you want to group your products on your online store in a way that it follows a theme, right? So if you, let's say you're a retailer and you sell all kinds of appliances, find all of the stuff that's love related, right? Valentine's Day related. Maybe you have a 2-seater chair that's shaped like a little heart. Maybe you have a GHD and you know the girls want to look very good on Valentine's Day. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that you make those themes on your online store. It'll take you 3 seconds to do this on Shopify, right? go and find all of those products and group them together so that if somebody is browsing your store, or if they do come from an ad, they see, wow, they've got a Valentine's Day collection over here. There's everything that I need for Valentine's Day. I can just put that in my basket and I don't have to think about it. And then what you do is you can have a for him section. So in other words, if she's buying something for herself, she can go, wow, I don't know what to get him. I'm kind of confused, but there's a whole bunch of stuff here that they recommend. So I can add that to my cart too. And guess what? Just like that, you've doubled your order. Now, here's the secret sauce. When they go and they're about to check out, what you want to do then is you want to offer them an upsell, right? Now, this is where you're going to have to be a little bit more creative as a business owner, right? This might not be something that you traditionally do on your online store, but let's say, for example, you know that she's already added a whole bunch of Valentine's Day items. He's already added a whole bunch of Valentine's Day items. But what you can do is you can add a gift card as an upsell to say, if you forgot about mommy's present or daddy's present or your granny's present, and you also want to give them love as well, here's a $200 gift card, or here's a $100 gift card, and you can then gift that to a family member. And now, instead of just having one order from a potential client, you've now got your gift to yourself sorted for Valentine's Day. You've got his gift sorted out, and you have a gift card. And if we look at your cart value, you've increased your cart value from maybe $100 to $600 just by implementing these steps. And I think a lot of business owners, we're so negative that we think somebody's not going to buy, that we don't think of the positive and say, what if they do buy and they want more, right? When you go into McDonald's, they say, would you like some fries with that? Would you like to add a shake to that? Would you like to add some dessert to that? If you go to a restaurant, they ask you the exact same thing. In the online business, you're the waiter. You're the person who's serving the customer. And most of us, Pamela's head is about to fall off her neck.
Hard yes.
Most of
Hard
us,
yeses.
most of us are underserving our clients. And that's why we are not hitting our targets, because instead of turning one sale into four things, we assume nobody's going to buy. We assume that, oh, they're going to click on my ad, but nobody's going to buy. Well, if you think that way, obviously no one's going to buy. But let's say one person does buy. Wouldn't it make sense to sell 5 things to that one person who does buy, instead of just going, nobody's going to buy, so why should I bother with this? Why should I bother with that? It's far more proactive for you to add all of those things together, layer them in together, and then you'll get the sale.
Yeah, can I show a really good example here? I mean, I'm gonna warn you, it's gonna make us a little bit hungry, but
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Guys, if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section, because I see you guys watching, but nobody's asking anything. So don't be scared. Ask.
Yes, we don't bite. We love answering questions, right? And if you're listening to this on Spotify or somewhere, go over to YouTube to see the example we're sharing, right? So this is Lindt, a famous chocolate manufacturer from Switzerland, right? We all know them. And you can see even them on the top left-hand side, right? Because in most countries, we read from left to right, right? They already have Valentine's Day. So the first thing they show me is, hey, Valentine's Day, it's on purpose, right? And then they have another section that says gifting, where they literally tell me, hey, are you in corporate? Are you a teacher, right? Like, for example, in the US, Teachers' Day is huge, right? So it's all the same. I can literally buy a box of chocolates of Lindt and put this together myself, but most people don't have the headspace to think about that, right? So I'm like, oh, this is, I don't need to think about what to get the teacher. I can just buy this. Oh, this is brilliant, right? Even though if I bought it on my own, it would probably be a lot cheaper. So people actually pay more when you tell them what purpose they're buying for, right? So I'll give you another example. One of our clients is in the chemicals industry, right? Very, very fact driven, right? And what we're now in the process of doing is, instead of just having product-based images, product-based pages, we are going to have them create purpose-based pages.
Wow.
Hey, if you're in the automotive industry, click here. If you are in the, oh my God, whatever else industry, click here, right? So we're going to break it down by industries so that people don't even need to think about, oh my God, okay, so I work for maybe BMW. What are the products I need? Well, maybe I need this type of chemical, but maybe I need another one. And they just go to automotive and they say, oh, these are the products, the most popular products that all our automotive clients buy.
Yeah,
Right? So make it easy for people to say yes while obviously still giving them a choice.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And let's talk about how you can amplify this. Okay. So let's say you have an online store and you have a lot of people clicking on your ads. You are getting some add to carts on Valentine's Day, and you are getting some people ordering and stuff like that. We know the stats, and we know that for every 100 people that click on the shopping ad, maybe two or three of them are going to convert, right? So the vast majority of people are not going to convert. Now, you've heard us say this plenty times on this show, that you should be running retargeting ads. And here's why we keep on harping on this. If you don't run retargeting ads, you're leaving money on the table. It's just that simple. If you don't run any type of retargeting, you're just leaving money on the table, because getting back to that, showing it to somebody on a Saturday on the couch, it's the same exact thing. They've gotten to your cart. They're ready to buy. They could have gotten a phone call. They could have gotten a funny TikTok. They could have gotten anything, but they were ready to buy. Okay. They left. You have two options. Number one, let them walk and never buy from you, buy from another store. Or option number two, retarget them. And you can do this for less than $5 a day, right? You don't need a lot of money. You can do this for less than $5 a day, and this will greatly increase your sales, right? You could use the cheapest ads. You can use YouTube ads. You could use display remarketing ad. What are the shopping remarketing ads called? Just
Well, it
remarketing.
used to be smart shopping. Now it's Performance Max.
Well, there we go. You can use
I
Performance
think
Max. I wanted to
I
say
think we should.
dynamic remarketing ads.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There was
yeah.
that. Oh no, it still exists. Could be gone next week. Who knows? Um, no, I think we should make another episode about remarketing. I think, yeah, because I feel like we both could go off on a rant here. Um, but yeah, don't assume people know about it. Keep reminding them, right? And keep reminding them in different formats. Remember, we all are different types of learners. Some people are visual learners. Some people are audio types of learners. I always forget that word. Some people are like the kinesthetic types of learners, right? So the more different types of ways of engagement you use, like text, image, video, audio, the better it is, right? So I would even honestly, I just got this as an idea. If I was a local business, I would even run an audio campaign within a certain radius to make sure people hear it when they're listening to podcasts in the car and so on, right? So that way you have a much cheaper way of reaching them on these platforms than if you just invested in a radio ad, which probably costs you thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think the people that are feeling left out on this podcast is the people that generate leads, and they're saying, Devin and Pamela, you're talking about the local businesses, you're talking about the guys with online stores, but what about me? I just need more leads. How do I what do I do on special holidays and stuff like that? What do we have for them? What can we tell them?
Well, first of all, Google has a lead gen form, so you can use that, right? You can integrate it with your CRM, which could be a good tool. It's not. We've made the experiences not as good as like Facebook lead gen ads, but it's still a decent tool, right? And have an offer for them. Like the promotion could be get 25% off for the next Valentine's Day when you sign up today for our newsletter, right? So you can
Okay.
start capturing them. And then the most important thing, and I've seen this so often in the last like months, because everybody wants leads, but nobody follows up with them. So when you want leads, just make sure you also have a follow up strategy, whether that is calling them, whether that is an email sequence that goes out every other day, whether that's sending them a personalized video, whatever it is, right? Like follow up with them. I see people lose out so much on leads because they just get them and then they just don't talk to them, right? So talk to them, tell them about yourself again, right? If you don't tell them, they won't know.
Yeah, 100%. I think also the reason why this is coming as an ex salesman, I think people put so much pressure on themselves in the moment that I have my job is to get this person to say yes to me. And if they don't say yes to me, it's a failure. And one thing that I had to learn from going from an amateur salesman to not understanding sales to becoming like a top salesman um, in my industry was sometimes when somebody says no, they're saying it because it's not the right time. It's got nothing to do
Yeah.
with you. It's got absolutely nothing to do with you. If I go and try and sell a fitness program to somebody who's 8 months pregnant, they're going to say no. It's got nothing to do with me. She's 8 months pregnant. Like she's not going to be in the gym anytime soon for any reason. And we make these wild assumptions that oh, they're supposed to say yes to me, nobody wants to buy, the economy's bad, people just don't have money out there. There is so much crap out of there, whereas maybe you would just call them 3 weeks later and say, hey, I'm just circling back, I just want to know, should I delete this lead, are you still interested? And then all of a sudden, just like boom, oh yeah, I'm still interested. Sorry, last time I was going through such a difficult time with my divorce, I was filling out papers, but now everything's behind me and I can actually listen to you clearly.
I even had this chat with this fella yesterday, and he's a wonderful human being. He's a sales coach, so he knows a cent or two. And he said, when people say no to me, I pick up the phone and call them. And it creates such a genuine conversation. He can do it because it's more like he's more like US focused, right? And it works for that culture. But I was like, hey, that's actually a cool idea. It does completely go against of what I learned as a child of what you should not do in terms of being polite and being
Yes.
humble and whatever and being respectful. But he says it gives a completely different angle and humanness to the conversation that then turns it around. And we're not saying this because we're perfect at this, right? Trust me, I still take no's personal sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is still sometimes hard, and it's a work in progress. But there is a journey beyond the no. Remember that.
Amen. Wow. I love that. Say that again. Say that again.
There's a journey beyond the no.
There we
Remember
go.
it.
And that's gonna be the Instagram reel that we'll make. I'll tell you guys a funny story. I had, well, not a funny story, it was a pretty sad story for me. I had one guy, he came into my community, the dude was on fire, he was doing everything, he signed up coaching calls with me, and whenever I spoke to him, he was so optimistic about Google Ads. And then one day, for no reason, he just left my community. And I sat there and I just looked at the email, like, so and so has left your community. And I felt so heartbroken. I was like, did we do something wrong? Because I felt like he had such a good vibe. Oh, we got a comment over here. Howdy, partners from Blue Sky. Hey, how you doing? Ask us any question, man, and let us know where you're from. I can't. Blue Sky sounds familiar. I bet you it's probably one of our longtime live stream members. But anyway, so I felt so heart sore, and I just put my feelings one side, and I sent him an email straight away, and I said, "Hey, man, I see that you just left. I don't mean to pry, but I just want to understand, is there something that we didn't do, or was there a way that we could have
Mhm.
served you better?" And he said to me, "Devon, your course has been mind blowing. The knowledge you provided for me was amazing. And I absolutely do not regret any time or money that I've spent in your program. It's just that I've been getting leads on Google ads for like $25. And when I switched over to Facebook ads, I get the same leads, but at a fraction of the course of the cost. So therefore, I'm switching over to Facebook ads officially, and that's why I'm not going to be in your community anymore." So all this time, I was assuming that the rejection had something to do with my program, my course, a completely myopic, self-centered point of view, where it didn't. It's literally he was going through something, and he just made a decision that was better for his business, and I can't hate him for that. That's a good decision.
And also important to mention here, Facebook leads don't always have to be cheaper. right? So just for those that go, oh, should I switch over to Facebook now? No, 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 relax, relax. Okay. So it's not the same for every business.
Yeah, we like to call it shiny object syndrome, where you think that if somebody has a good experience there, that you should go over there. Trust me, we've seen it all from doing this for 7 years, for 10 years. It was first Facebook ads, and then everybody ran over to Google ads. Then from Google ads, everybody ran over to TikTok ads, and then everybody ran back to Facebook, Instagram. It just happens all the time, right?
Keep circling.
Your every business is unique. You have to get your marketing right. If you get your marketing right, if you get your messaging right, it can work anywhere. It can work on any ad platform, and that's literally just the best ad platform for you.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well said. So
Yeah.
I think in summary, first of all, rate the podcast wherever you're watching it, right? Because that's going to help us a lot, a lot, a lot, 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 lot,
Please.
lot. Like, subscribe down below, right, bottom, top, wherever you're seeing it. And rounding this up, if you took notes and you are going to implement probably just half of what we told you, then you're not just going to increase your holiday sales by 20%, but probably a lot more. So the 20% that we put here is a very, very humble estimate, right? But I can also tell you, most people are not going to take action. So the way you differentiate yourselves from others, from the other businesses, is by you literally going in there and taking action, right? So you now listen to about, if you chimed in from the beginning, right, it's about 45, 50 minutes. And you know a lot more now than you knew before, right? And you can just drop all the knowledge that you had and not do anything and just keep going on as usual. And most likely down the road, things are going to be the same, right? Or you can switch things up, go towards more revenue, more leads, and so on, implement what we told you, right? Try out these new things and see how your business gradually will increase in revenue. It's almost like unlikely that it doesn't, right? So it's up to you. If you need support, comment below, join the feedback circle, get in touch with us. But everything is available to you and everything is possible if you embrace it.
That is a beautiful outro, and I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We will see you on the next episode. Pam, it's been a pleasure. Peace. See you guys later. Bye.
Same. See y'all, guys. Bye.